Andre, I think you'd beat me in sumo suit wrestling, just for the record.
I'm pretty sure I'd beat the majority of nerds in any sort of fighting.
That's true. Andre used to be a black belt judo
No, that's not true.
guy.
I was a brown belt, but it took me 4 months to get that.
4 months to get a brown belt.
Yeah, in judo.
It took me 4 months to...
I'm pretty well versed in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, it's pretty impressive.
I came up with my own theory about a lot of the stuff, and it.
So you rebelled against your sensei.
No. It has nothing to do with that. My sensei was.
So you're a good student then, for your sensei. You're the Karate Kid. Andre is the Karate Kid.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Except I'm actually skilled.
Whoa.
The Karate Kid was not skilled. Are you kidding me?
That's true. Whenever I think of the Karate Kid, I think of someone like Ben, someone who's
every single Karate Kid got the crap beaten out of them.
Well, not Jaden Smith. That kid knew how to roll.
I actually didn't see that because it looked awful.
No,
just absolutely
There's
awful.
one with Jackie Chan, right? And Jaden Smith. Where the Asian guy teaches the black kid. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be top of my priority list.
Whatever, man. It's okay, Andre, because we have a great thing we can watch here. It's Vines versus Slavik.
Now that is the top of my priority. 15 spawning pool.
It's 15 spawning pool, and it's going to be PVZ the first of the day, actually. We've had TVP and TVZ. And guys, don't worry. It's not going to actual pause. It's just, this is play from replay. This was played not too long ago. So it's as fresh can be. Not fresh like the way Subway promises it's fresh, but it's really processed still. It's fast food. Subway is fast food, for the record, Andre.
Why are you talking about food, man? You have serious problems.
I do. I haven't I eat too much.
You've been getting a little bit of weight, right? Since NASL?
No. Not at all.
Really?
Well, weight and muscle, maybe.
I don't believe that.
I actually can't gain weight right now because I'm actually really afraid of gaining weight, Andre. I've already been overweight twice in my life.
So, okay, the
second time I got fat, I said never again.
Really?
The first time was like, it won't happen again.
How heavy did you get?
I blew up to like 185.
Okay, so you blew up to 185, and then you're giving people hate about getting big. You should be encouraging me. You should be like, Andre, you should be working out. I'm glad that you're looking a lot better. You should be keeping me on track. Instead, what do? You call me Mr. Bitter. That's messed up, bro.
No one deserves to be called Mr. Bitter.
Nobody deserves that.
Not even Mr. Bitter.
Not even Mr. Bitter deserves that.
Oh, gosh.
It's the final style build from this Zerg player. We have Nexus after Forge, which is a little bit interesting. I would have said a Nexus first would have been a lot better, especially against a 15 spawning pool. I guess Vine's a little bit unfamiliar with his opponent, just playing super, super safe. But still, I really feel like that's a missed opportunity right there. Still, it won't affect the game all too much. And this game is going probably the most standard PvZ that you could possibly see. Chrono Boost being allocated towards the probes, that's all.
And looks like it's pretty much going to play really standard. Now, Metropolis is a map that I remember, I think it was Caldor that was complaining, not really complaining, he was just pointing out that Metropolis is a lot of immortal all-ins because of the nature of the natural, how you can kind of force field based off that. You can even force yourself into small corners, and especially Warp Prisms are ridiculously strong, so even if you don't go for immortals, you go for like the 4th century Warp Prism drop kind of play.
Yeah.
But I actually really like Metropolis once it plays out past the mid-game. It does get to this weird point where it's very hard to kind of traverse past the center if you're either races when you lose a lot of mobility. But I actually kind of like when it gets to that late stage where, you know, Protoss tries to go for Warp Prisms, and then Zergs, if they choose to go muted on this map, they can really have lots of options darting back and forth. So I think that's a really interesting dynamic if they choose to do that. But we already see the first tech route of choice, which is a Proxy Stargate. And it's only one Stargate for now. It could be a second one, but one Stargate.
Interesting.
We saw this in the GSL Season 1 Finals in DRG versus Genius. I believe it was like Game 3. Where Genius tried to go double Void Ray of some kind, but with only one Stargate, I'm actually really curious to see how Vines goes from here.
Yeah, how much damage is it really going to do? Now, I guess that's to protect against any scouts that come into the base. Of course, Overlord timings are generally around 7 minutes where you actually start moving in. And look at that, Slavik, little hacker. You're listening to my cast from the past.
Cast from the past.
Cast from the past.
Sounds pretty cool. Oh, Vines is going for Phoenixes instead of Void Rays. So, I mean, I thought he was going to go for one Void Ray and then Chrono Boost with Phoenixes. But instead, he's just going to go straight Phoenixes. What do you think about this, Andre?
It's weird. Definitely weird. But it could be. He gets 4 Phoenixes and then the Void Ray. That way he can get as much energy on. And remember, this is always going to surprise. It's not inside the base, so it's not like, oh, I'm going to scout you out. I see exactly what's going on. Now I'm good to go. You know, like, you have to make the move. No, he doesn't have to make the move. If Vines is really clever about this, he will see the Robo and say, wow, that's a really late Robo, and do something about it. But if he's not too well versed in this matchup, then he will be like, oh, okay, it's Robo opening. Don't have to worry. He gets 4 and then puts on that Void Ray, and obviously he's able to do so much damage that way.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Void Ray, or sorry, the Robo is really late. And I think Slavik is suspecting something really weird. He's actually moving around with his Zerglings a lot to see anything around the map. But the fact is, Vines has been playing this pretty nice, I think. Now he's saving up enough Phoenixes that when he goes, he can pretty much kill Queens. You just need 4 Phoenixes. And Slavik's completely unprepared. In fact, his Evo Chamber is still in the middle of production, so these Phoenixes can do a surprising amount of damage.
Here we go. First Queen gets picked up, and there is actually no Evolution Chamber on the field. This is the only one that's emerging right now. And that means it's going to be very difficult to actually defend against this. Another Queen gets picked off, and now you can really see the power of hiding these Phoenixes and just waiting until 4. And having just that couple of seconds. Literally, it was just maybe 30 seconds to have this as a surprise. And it makes all the difference. I mean, the Overlord not scouting out the starport was so important.
Well, yeah, you can see that, oh man, he's sniping these Overlords. He's going to supply block Slavik very soon. And of course, yeah, the Spore Callers do finish up, but the Phoenixes have served their role very nicely. And now, yeah, the Harassment may be shut down a little bit more. And in the end, Slavik still has a pretty healthy drone count. But not only has Vines done all this economic harassment, he's established a lot of map control, because now he can snipe the Overlords, and force Slavik to pump out a couple more larvae. Vines also has good tech behind this, because he's able to been safe. And there's honestly really nothing stopping him from taking a 3rd base at this point.
But I think we're going to have a continuation of 2-base play. No, never mind. There's not enough gateways out in the field. I just figured we were going to see that because of the Colossus that's inbound. Colossus is obviously so powerful. And I think the trigger would be Vines needs to see Hydras on the way. But he saw a Spire instead. If it was Hydras, obviously this would be the go-to. But instead, he's just going to plop down his 3rd, so you're absolutely right. And he's good.
Yeah, and I think a 3rd from this position is good, because now you can as long as you keep the Phoenixes alive, you can keep tabs on your Zerg opponent. And of course, the couple things you want to keep in mind, Andre, what are they? We want to see Infestors timing, we want to see Hive timings, we want to see unit compositions, and as soon as you start seeing like a huge conglomeration of roaches, then you start preparing different things, start warping in a lot more aggressively rather than saving your money for important tech. So at this point, I think Vines is doing all things right. Slavik at the same time, I guess he's been playing right based off the information he has. And look at this, he's squeezing 20 drones behind this minor aggression.
Yeah, and I like this. Obviously, this is fake aggression, as you were saying, minor aggression, same thing. The fake aggression is going to be pretty successful because it forces this reaction. Vines is using his Phoenixes defensively rather than going around the map and actually trying to catch things, see what's going on. These could have obviously done a lot more damage, or at least scouted a lot more. The 4th base is coming up. That's one of the things that he could have scouted a lot earlier. Maybe potential push timing, or you know, if there's a Hive tech transition, if the Infestation tech is coming up. There's so many different things that he really needs to keep an eye on. Yeah. Vine's now going to see the 4th base, but he has Corruptors out already.
I remember watching Vine stream back when he wasn't even on Vines. He was on OGS. This is a long time ago. And Vines, he loved to go for the 3-base, I guess, Death Ball push before pre-Hive. He would get like an incredible amount of units, get +3, which I don't think he's going to be inbound in terms of getting +3 in time. But regardless, he just likes having a huge army in terms of his push. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for that very standard pre-Hive, Colossus, Stalker, a couple Sentries thrown in there, Death Bush. That's going to be so hard for Zerg to confront without the aid of Hive tech. And the key is whether or not he scouts it and he's going to move out in time. But at the same time, Slavik's been playing pretty nice according to his timings. I like the fact that he's able to have a really nice, healthy drone count despite getting behind. And I think Slavik's not in the worst position possible, but I really like Vine's position better.
That's a lot of immortals, by the way. He made sure that immortal count is still pretty high. Look at that, another immortal going down here. And
wait, he only has one Colossus?
yeah, he only has one Colossus. Does it have thermal lance, by the way? No, it doesn't.
He's trying to convince him to make a lot of corruptors.
A lot of corruptors and I guess roaches. But unfortunately for him, Slavik, look at what he has. 6 infestors on the way, pathogen glands. That's beautiful.
He's got mainly Zerglings too in his army.
And this is all you have to do in this position. Just get a lot of spine crawlers. I would love 10 for each side. And just sit behind these.
Huh, this is really interesting. Now he's getting Neural Parasite. And he's also making a wall of spines. All very good reads from Slavik, saying I'm not going to overcommit to corruptors at all. And Vines, of course, with a very nice pre-hive push, just like we thought he would, but he's doing it very unconventionally by getting only one Colossus with no range and focusing mainly on Blinkstalker Immortals. Now, Fungals can completely throw this army into a huge muck. Like, it's really tough from the deal with Fungals, Andre. But at the same time, Vines is very cautious with his positioning. Well, what do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be one-sided for someone. It all depends. No, it all depends on the micro at the time. I mean, as we were talking about last game, Fungals can, or Infestors rather, can make or break an entire army. That you can come out super far ahead, or you can be behind by so much just on the basis of how well you're using your army.
Ooh, well, he lands a huge fungal actually on all the Phoenixes, making sure they can't lift up the Infestors, but a couple of Infestors get trapped, and look at the force fields preventing anything from escaping or entering. It is completely commitment time. Vines now blanking in. A couple of more Fungals, and the Roaches are reinforcing and trying to engage as well, but there's just so much Protoss units. The War Prism is being dealt with accordingly as well in terms of the reinforcements, and the Colossus finally drops, but the Colossus was never really the point of contention. It is these 5 Immortals that are absolutely devastating anything that it touches, Andre.
Yep, and it looks like the reinforcements are going to be so hard to actually deal with. A lot of Zerglings. Is it going to be enough? A lot of Immortals are still alive, and I think Slavik is going to have to tap out pretty soon. There it is.
GG. And Vines hits a very nice pre-hive timing, just as we are so used to seeing. And Vines takes game number 1, and very decisive fashion. That was very like, you know, I'm just gonna play more solid and outplay you.
Yeah, it's really hard to defend against something that you need like the most fantastic remax ever. And normally I think in that position it would be a lot of Zerglings and a couple of Roaches. Now the Roaches do help, but you really want to get that surround. The Roaches are obviously susceptible to the Immortals. The Zerglings are so important because the Immortal doesn't do nearly as much damage to them, and the fact that they can surround completely, so it really nullifies that blink play. It's just a hard push to stop overall, though. No matter how you look at it, it's so difficult, even when you have Fungals. But one thing, he didn't fungal down those sentries. You need to make sure those sentries are fungal down.
4 Fungals is what you need to really kill those sentries, and as long as you can chain them, even if they're like, you get 3 down, just the Roaches will pick them off one at a time. Very tough situation for Slavik, as he made a lot of great reads, and I think he actually reacted really well, but again, the micro positioning from Vines was just too much. And Vines takes game number 1. We'll find out what happens game number 2 when we come back. The map's already been decided. It is daybreak. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute.